It's been 84 years, or, 4 months. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my first impressions showdown number 17, I believe. We've had a bunch of these. For those who are new to the channel and don't know what these are, a first impressions video on the channel is where I check out the first episode or so of a reaction and determine if it's something I want to continue watching on the channel, watch on my own time, or something I'm just not interested in. Now, first impressions showdown is when I do multiple first impressions in one video. And that's what we're doing here today. And it's been about 4 months. It was April when we did our last one. And I want to try to space out the big ones a little more. And I know we just had a bunch of first impressions come out lately with, the summer anime season having a shitload of, big anime to tackle. But there's a few shows here that I've been wanting to, do first impressions for a while now and have just never gotten around to, as well as a new one that just came out that I want to do a first impressions to because not sure how I'm going to feel about it after all this time. So the shows we're going to touch on today are Kiff, StuGo, Jellystone, and King of the Hill Season 14. So let's talk about all of them. So, Kiff, I don't really know anything about this. I've heard it's kind of like the new big, I think it's a Disney show, the new big Disney show that's going on, and people are saying they really like it. I know the main character is I think a squirrel. So it's like animal characters, which isn't a problem. But I don't really know anything about it. I don't know what the tone of it is. I don't know how big of a show it is in just general. I don't know. StuGo is newer. It's one of the newer ones on here outside of King of the Hill, and it's the newest original one. Let's put it that way. I don't know anything about this one either, except I've heard the theme, at least part of the theme song, I think. Basically just someone yelling out StuGo in a very charismatic way, and it's like, what? It's because the thing is, I have no idea what that means. Is it part of a name? Like stew? I don't know. But either way, it's I'm just scrolling through TikTok, and all of a sudden, my phone yells at me, StuGo! And it's what? So I'm checking it out. Jellystone is probably one of the two on here I know the most about. And that's because I know Jellystone is kind of a modern cartoon conglomeration of the old Hanna-Barbera characters. You have the likes of Yogi Bear. You have the likes of, what was the name of the shark? Jabberjaw. And so on and so forth. It's all these classic Hanna-Barbera characters coming together in a series that's, a new modern animation version of that. That's pretty much all I know about it, but I do know a lot of these characters. I have watched Jabberjaw. I have watched Yogi Bear. So I do know at least some of this. Mind you, it's probably going to be done in a very different, new, modern way. But I'm curious to see what they do with these characters. And then we have, of course, King of the Hill Season 14. I don't know if I've seen every episode of King of the Hill's first 13 seasons. I can't say with any certainty. But I've seen a lot of the original run of King of the Hill. Because it's it was one of those shows that was on, I think it was on, was King of the Hill on Adult Swim? Or was it just Fox? Either way, it was on a lot when I had my own TV in my room when I was in high school. and I would like stay up late watching stuff, and maybe there were like reruns or something on at that time of night, but I remember watching stuff like that. I would watch stuff like Case Closed, Inuyasha. I don't know why I watched Inuyasha because I didn't like it, but I did. And King of the Hill was another one. And King of the Hill is one of those shows that I find funny in a lot of ways, and I've even quoted a lot of times, because I feel like it's one of the very few adult animated shows out there that really understands how to do an adult animated show. It's not just all vulgarity and, stupid jokes that are either, sexist, racist, other forms of bigoted, or just, insulting to the audience. It's not Family Guy. It's not American Dad. Or let's round out the trio. It's not the Cleveland Show. It's nothing like that. I'd say it's more akin to the level of something like Futurama, although it's very different in terms of its tone and style and even humor than Futurama. But there's a lot of things like that I do remember very fondly. I mean, everyone thinks of like the that's not your purse, or whatever the exact line is for Bobby. Everyone like remembers the when Hank is cooking steaks on the grill. It's like, what if someone likes it well done? Well, we ask them firmly but politely to leave. You don't cook your steaks well done. Medium rare is the correct option, but medium is okay. Medium is fine. Anything past that, it's like you're eating a shoe. Why bother? But I wouldn't like go for a lower cook than medium rare either. Like a rare or blue rare, definitely not blue rare. But like just full rare is like little too much there. Medium rare is the perfect cook because it's just the perfect texture, perfect taste, perfectly safe, great cook. It's exactly what a steak should be. The best steak I've ever had, fun fact for you, was from a Golden Corral of all places. Of all places. And it was perfectly medium rare, perfectly seasoned, super juicy. It was legitimately the best steak I have ever had. Which is wild that it came from a fucking Golden Corral. But just a little fun fact for you there. But yeah, King of the Hill is a show that, like, even though a lot of the times when growing up watching it, I didn't understand everything that was being said, it's something that I have come to appreciate a lot. And it does tackle some notable subjects, but it actually handles them with a fair amount of care. And mind you, like, none of the characters in it are, like, perfect or anything. A lot of them have issues. Hank is, like, not a paragon of humanity by any means. But he actually has shown to be willing to try. To better himself, to better his view of other people. He's definitely, like, a Republican, but he's not like a super bigoted, terrible Republican. He's a lot more open-minded. Surprisingly so. And then you, of course, have, like, the likes of Bill and Boomhauer and Dale. And one thing I do have to talk about with this one is there are some voice actor stuff going on, because Dale's voice actor passed away in the middle of recording this series. And so I do know that Dale's voice actor, like his original VA, is the same for some of the episodes, but not all of them. Because he did get some recorded. I don't know how many, but I do know that he is in some of this, and then he is replaced for the rest of it. And then there's John Redcorn's voice actor, who was tragically murdered in a hate crime. And because he's gay. He was gay, if you didn't know. And I believe that he did get all of his lines recorded ahead of time, so he will be in this season completely. But yeah, it's just it was horrific what happened to him, and hopefully there's tributes to both of them. I'll leave it at that. As for like going into this, I do believe that this takes place like at least a decade later, because Bobby's an adult now. I know that. Um, I don't know everything about. Like, I wasn't trying to like get spoiled on everything, so I was avoiding a lot of trailers and stuff. So I don't know everything about what this is going to be like, but I'm very curious to see. So, and mind you, I want to make clear if I don't remember everything from the original, like that's I feel very natural at this point. So if there's something I forget, just bear with me on that. It's the same as like with Phineas and Ferb's revival. Now, last thing I'll mention before we get this started, um, how we're gonna do this if you're new here is I'm going to react to one of the episodes, record the afterthoughts, and then get to the next one. So each afterthoughts will be recorded directly after I react to that specific episode. Here on the redirect, you're going to see all the afterthought portions sectioned out on the progress bar. There's also going to be timestamps directly in the description. I almost forgot the word below. So if you just want to go to those timestamps, but you can just check the progress bar. It'll show where everything is. Um, and all of the reactions will be uploaded separately. They're all going to be a separate upload from each other. Just makes it a lot easier rather than trying to have them in the same redirected video. So there's going to be multiple links in the description below that'll lead you to each of the different reactions. So if you're only here for like one or two of them, you can only check out the ones you can check out the ones that you want to watch and not have to watch the others or have to skip through a long video to find the others. You can watch whichever ones you're here for. You can go to the progress bar or to the description, find the specific afterthoughts portion you're looking for, and go from there. Makes it easy, makes it well organized for everyone, for myself and for you guys. So that all being said, let's get into these and see what we have in store. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back with the Kiff portion of the afterthoughts, which we will begin in 3, 2, 1, now. So I did look up Lauren Ash, who's Kiff's mom, because I'm like, I know that name from somewhere. She's Scorpia from She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. It's like, yeah, I knew I recognized the name. Yeah, I've been rewatching Scorpia with Danny Mata's reaction, or rewatching She-Ra with Danny Mata's reactions, and Scorpia has been in that, so it's like I didn't recognize the voice offhand, but I recognize the name. So this was pretty good. It wasn't like amazing, but it definitely hooked me in. There's a lot of great humor, a lot of great expressions, especially, and there is definitely a lot of heart to it. The first segment, with Kiff wanting to be the first to drink from the fountain and everything, kind of had the entire friendship with Barry Buns at the end, showing how good of a friend he's been for her, and that was kind of like the takeaway from the episode, since she didn't achieve her goal and everything. Um, and then with the second segment, you have the family aspect, with Kiff kind of becoming an honorary family member to the Buns family, which, from what we can tell, seems to just be this single mother and her 4 kids, which is crazy. Because it's like these are all of these kids are, kids still. They're all in school. Um, the oldest is, oh my god, what is the names? I remember Terry. Harry. Harry is the oldest. Okay. So the mom is Mary. Terry is the daughter. Harry is the oldest son. Then there's Barry, who's the second youngest, and then there's Kristoff, who's the baby. But it's like this. She kind of gets brought in as like an honorary member of the family. When you're that close to a friend and everything, it kind of becomes like that. And yeah, it was a really fun, really cool episode, or segment of an episode rather, that touched on some pretty fun stuff. The entire sharing the bath thing, like, I'm wondering if like the idea behind that is they're not like super well off, maybe because single mother taking care of 4 kids and everything. I wonder if that's the idea behind, because I've never heard of this. Like, I've heard of hand-me-downs, but sharing bath water, like, as a way of preserving water and everything, especially hot water, I have never heard of that. That's just, like, a foreign concept to me. It's like, why can't they just take baths on different days? Like, they're not going to need to take a bath every single day, so why not just take baths on different days? One kid can take a bath, let's say, on Monday night. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or even, like, split it up differently, like, between the rest of the week. It doesn't have to be, like, all in order, but it just feels like a weird decision to have them all take their baths on the same day, on the same night, and have to, because of that, preserve bath water like that. It's gross. Because the thing is, a thing you have to take into account, outside of like scrubbing yourself with soap and everything, and using shampoo and whatnot, when you're sitting in a bath, you're sitting in the water. You're sitting in all of the filth that is coming off your body. And that's why some people will, like, sit in the bath, but then, like, shower themselves off briefly afterwards in order to, like, just finish getting themselves clean. And then, like, you can, like, scrub yourself down in the bath and everything, but you're sitting in the dirty water, so you do want to at least spray yourself down a little bit after. It just feels like... It just feels like if you're, like, sharing bath water, you're not going to be getting clean, right? You're just not getting clean at that point. And again, it's like, I understand if they're trying to conserve water and everything because they're not, like, super well off. Because, like, obviously the hand-me-down stuff and everything, Kiff doesn't understand because she's an only child. And based on her bedroom, like, her bedroom is really well, like, looking. It looks like her family's probably doing pretty fairly good. Not, like, amazingly rich, but, like, maybe they just looked out and had, like, a really nice, bedroom at the house they got, but, like, you see that little nook her bed is in, it's like, I would kill for something like that. That would be amazing. But yeah, it feels weird to, like, the idea of sharing bathwater. But I guess I've never been that poor to where I've had to think about that, so A little bit of privilege speaking, I'll admit. Um, I wasn't expecting the song, but I'm glad that we have it considering Kiff is voiced by Kimiko Glenn, who is a great singer. Like I said, we barely heard her sing, only a tiny little bit, like at the end of Has Been Hotel season 1. I'm hoping she gets like a full song in season 2, but if you've seen the series Centaur World, she sings a lot in that, and she's a fantastic singer. She also sings in My Little Pony Next Generation movie as Izzy Moonbow. So we've heard her sing before. It's just this is one of those cases where I don't know. I wasn't expecting to hear singing here, but I also didn't know she was in this until I heard her voice. I like hear her voice. It's like that's Kimiko Glenn. Like that's absolutely her. I've seen enough shows with and movies and stuff with her in it by this point to recognize her voice. Um. So yeah, it's like that. The song was fun. There's a lot of good humor in this. There's a lot of like fun little moments. There's a lot of things that don't really make sense but are really funny, like the fridge somehow being sentient, I guess. Also, Kiff's little dramatic performance in that segment was great as well. Um, a lot of fun stuff, and I'm very curious to see more of this and see what else they can do with it. There's also a lot of creativity visually. They show a lot of like fun little sequences, like the sequence where Kiff is like imagining getting the first drink and everything, and it's like this really fantastical sequence. It's really fun. This is definitely one that I want to continue to watch. I want to continue to react to it, especially. It doesn't at least now seem like it's going to have too much of an ongoing narrative, but I mean, it could. Like, it absolutely could introduce some more notable serialized stories at some point. I don't think it's ever going to be like Owl House levels or anything, but I could see this being pretty good. So this is definitely something I want to continue. But tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this first episode of Kiff? And thank you for tuning into this portion of the Afterthoughts. If you want to check out another of the reactions and subsequent Afterthoughts, please do. If you were just here for this, hope you enjoyed. But for now, we're going to move on to the next one. And we are back with the StuGo portion of the Afterthoughts, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I looked up the voice actors. Apparently Zosha Mamet, however it's pronounced, I apologize if I mispronounced it, who voices Marion, the girl with the ponytail and braces and all, she was Hekapoo in Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Would never have guessed that. And Dr. Lula's VA, Lorraine Toussaint, the one who I said sounded kind of familiar. Yeah, I definitely know her. She was Queen Valoran from Nimona, one of my favorite movies, but also Shadow Weaver from She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, and even Rashida Remington, Remy's mother from Big City Greens. She was also in Static Shock. Little fun thing for you there, for those who've seen Static Shock. But yeah, so, like, and Charlene Yee was Ruby. I was correct on that. She voices Larry in this. She was also in Mitchell's vs. Machines. She's Chloe in We Bare Bears. And I swear she was in something else I watched lately. I can't remember what it was. But yeah. So, this first episode, both segments of StuGo, is interesting, I guess. It's very chaotic. You have these smart kids, like these like highly intelligent kids being sent to this, what they think is a summer camp, but in reality they're just being conscripted by a supervillain into being free labor for her. And it's crazy, it's weird, it's wacky. A lot of mutant shenanigans. Our main character gets turned into Caillou. Like, seriously, it was uncanny. And just constantly getting into, like, crazy danger. But also at the end there, Dr. Lula was like, oh, finally they got in there. It's like, so she was planning for them to work together to get into the food storage, which probably means there's more food storage besides just that. But it's like she's actually trying to like teach them something here, weirdly enough, even though she just wanted them here for free labor. So I'm very curious about that. I feel like there's potential for like notable story elements with this. I feel like this has the potential to be something bigger, and because of that, I do want to continue reacting to it right now. Um, I would say like just based off of this first episode, both segments, it's like it's okay. It's nothing special, but I see a lot of potential in it. I see like with the fact that they're all intelligent in various ways. Um, I feel like we could really delve a lot into that. There's also some really funny jokes, like the one girl, the girl who, let's be honest, feels like she's very high or something. I don't think she is. I think she's just chill as fuck. But she acts very like bonked out of her mind. Let's put it that way. Um, doing the like her doing the rock paper scissors and like just keep on tying forever is like, oh my god. And then the orange slice ends up helping save things with that. And then the one kid like Larry, how did Larry's arm go back to normal? But then again, the next episode's probably gonna have our main girl. I can't remember her name. With her hair back and everything. So, yeah, crazy shit. It's it's wacky. It's weird. Oh, sorry, I hit my camera stand there. It's wacky. It's weird, and it has potential, and that's enough to make me want to see more. I don't know if I'm gonna like really get into it, but I want to at least continue to give it a chance. But tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this first episode of StuGo? And for now, I'm Connie, and yeah, I'm not signing off, but that's it for this portion of the afterthoughts. If you were just here for the StuGo reaction, I hope you enjoyed. If you were here for other reactions as well, please check them out. Links are in the description below, as always. And I hope you enjoy whatever you are here to see. For now, we are going to move on to the next one. And we are back with the Jellystone portion of these afterthoughts. Um, if you're not here for Jellystone, if you're looking for different afterthoughts, just search through the progress bar, um, the timestamps down below in the description. But we will begin with Jellystone spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. You know, I don't think I'll ever be prepared for casual cannibalism. But here we are. If I had a nickel for every time I watched a character in a show casually and uncontrollably eat their friends, I'd have 2 nickels. Which is not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Because this, it reminded me of Big Mom from One Piece. It just did. I'm sorry, I'm so One Piece coded that I can't help it. It just instantly made me think of that. And mind you, it's a different scenario here. Here, Yogi knew he was doing it, and the reason was very different, but still. What the fuck? You open a show with this, with casual cannibalism, and the barbecue sauce was obviously there to make a joke about it, like covering his paws and face and splattered all around, obviously to like make a blood joke, and it's just like, what? Huh? What do you mean? And all this started because this old woman is so much of a bitch. She died. She flatlined because of Augie Doggy's adorable song. It's like, that was cute as fuck. How do you insult that? It wasn't annoying. It was adorable. I I kind of agree with Doggy Daddy here that it's like these people like insulting his daughter like this. It's like, this guy it has a right to crash out at this. If he goes on like a murder spree at some point, he's perfectly in the right. His daughter is adorable and I love her. Then we have Cindy, who's like something of a mad scientist in this, I guess, who refuses to take accountability for her actions. Fun. Yogi and Boo Boo are doctors as well for some reason. I don't know why. But Huckleberry Finn's the mayor, so I don't think there's any logic to it. I think it's just like, okay, we're going to take all of these classic Hanna-Barbera characters and just throw them in here. We don't care what they're going to do. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to throw them in there and let chaos ensue. Also, Jabberjaw is a woman now. So I guess she's trans. I mean, we have to assume that, right? Jabberjaw is trans. She's an icon. Like, yeah, absolutely. We saw Top Cat trying to sell, snake oil, basically. Saw a lot of characters in the background who didn't really have speaking roles, like Magilla Gorilla and Grape Ape and a lot of others. There's just so many. It's like they took every Hanna-Barbera character possible. In the end, Yogi got left in the stomach, or not Yogi, Boo Boo got left in the stomach, in Yogi's stomach, so I assume that's just going to be resolved by the next episode. This is clearly one of those things that feels, and I say this with love, very much like Adventure Time. It throws you into this without any explanation, without any, backstory or anything. You're just thrust into it at full speed and just expected to accept it. And it ends up being some of the most insane, out-of-pocket bullshit you've ever seen. And it's kind of fascinating because of it. And we know how good Adventure Time got. It started off okay, but it ended up getting really, really good. And, I'm on season 10 now and fucking loving it. So it's like Jellystone clearly has the potential as well to be that good. And while it's starting off just absolutely ridiculous and insane, they could absolutely do something with this. And even if it just stays this absolutely bonkers, I think I'm kind of into it. The thing is, this is on Max. I'm trying to figure out what the fucking demographic for this show is supposed to be, because you cannot tell me this is meant for kids. You cannot just look at this cannibalism, this casual cannibalism, and tell me this is meant for kids. That is the most adult joke that ever joked in a cartoon. Okay, maybe not the most adult joke, but you know what I mean. It's such an aggressively adult joke. It's just everything about this read as an adult cartoon, just without the language and adult situations. Well, you know what I mean. It's like an adult cartoon, but almost presented as if it were supposed to be a children or family-friendly cartoon. And that is, really weird, because I don't think I've seen that. Because Adventure Time is able to be enjoyed by all ages. It's not, I wouldn't call it an adult cartoon. This goes a little bit crazier right from the start, though. And I've seen a lot of adult cartoons that, are more enjoyable by a larger audience, stuff like Futurama or Simpsons or whatnot. But, like, I wouldn't call those, like, presenting themselves as if they were a kid's show or anything. This feels like with the art design and everything, with the vibrant colors, it feels like it's trying to be a kids show, but the writing, like, basically gives that entire idea a big middle finger, and I'm so shocked and confused by it, because it's like, even before he starts cannibalizing people, even just the idea of the nuclear fucking stomach is like, I'm sorry, what? Like, how would you put that into a children's cartoon and expect them to understand anything you just said? Also, these are characters who are, directly from cartoons from like the 80s and before that. The 80s and earlier. It's like these are kids that a lot of or these are characters a lot of adults and parents and stuff are gonna recognize more at this point. Like, some kids might recognize Yogi Bear from like the newer movie or whatnot, but I don't know, unless their parents like showed them these cartoons, they're not gonna recognize most of them. I mean, I guess some of them are in the Scoob movie. Captain Caveman is, I know for sure. Um, I don't know. It's just a lot of this is just so out of pocket in a way that I just was not expecting. But I'm like, I'm invested. I'm very into it. I'm I'm hoping that Augie Doggy gets the respect she deserves because she is an adorable little puppy and I love her. Um, Seriously, first impression wise, she's my favorite right now. It's like, I just I get a kick out of adorable kids doing adorable things in shows, um, because it's like I get almost this protective energy over them as well, because it's like I want to be a mom so bad that it's like I just kind of like gravitate towards characters like that a lot of times. And so it's just like that's why I've been like that's why I was so like protective and angry at everybody for insulting her and like literally dying from her adorable song. It's like, Jesus, Karen, you have to be that fucking dramatic. Sorry. I My mind wavered for a second there. Um I definitely want to see more. I definitely want to continue reacting to this. This has been one hell of a set of first impressions here. But we do have another to do, so tell me in the comments below what you thought of this first episode of Jellystone. And for now, um, let's keep going with the last one we have. And we are back with the King of the Hill portion of these afterthoughts, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, if you've watched a lot of like animation for all your life or whatnot, or just any kind of shows or movies or whatnot, I'm sure you've experienced this, for lack of a better word, phenomenon where you go back and watch something you haven't seen in a long time, or something like comes out like new from some kind of franchise after a long time, and it just, you watch it, you get through it, you enjoy it, but then like after watching, you're suddenly hit with this massive like explosion of nostalgia, and it just kind of makes you cry. I just experienced that. Oh, fuck. And it's weird Because, like, growing up and everything, watching this, watching King of the Hill, it was never, like, my favorite show or anything. There were others that I just got into more, for a lot of reasons. But for some reason, like, when I stopped the reaction there, it, like, hit me like a brick wall all at once. Watching the episode, it's like, I'm enjoying this, I'm having a blast. It feels like just like it never ended. Like it's absolutely the same kind of humor, the same kind of commentary. The characters are very much like what you would expect them to be at this point. You're getting to see some new characters, you're getting introduced to some new ideas, and it very much feels like a return to form. And not every show that's brought back like this can do that. Like Phineas and Ferb, luckily enough, did that, but that's also, a very different kind of show. It's very simple, it's very formulaic. This series always had a lot to say, and with a show that, like, gives a lot of commentary, gives a lot of depth to it, it is hard to sometimes recapture that, especially when you're coming back years and years later, where, political climates have changed, social climates have changed, but they're tackling that. And they're tackling that by having it so that, Hank and Peggy were out of the country in basically what kind of amounted to as a time capsule community for however long it's been, like 10 years or so. I think Bobby said he was 21, so probably about 10 years. I think he was around 11 before. Either way, they've been gone, and so they've been, like, kind of out of the loop with how things have progressed and changed. And so coming back to Texas after all that time, it's culture shock. It's genuinely culture shock to them. And they're even questioning if they should go back. They're given this offer to return to Saudi Arabia, and they're given the opportunity to go back, and they even think it over. But then that moment, like, by the Girl Scout stand at the store and everything, it's like it changes their perspective because they start making these connections again. They start finding things to look forward to. And they even find a change that they agree with. And it's a good one, too. It's like, these are basically just Samoas, but they changed the name to be more respectful to Samoan people. He's like, that's actually a good change. I actually agree with that. It's like, well, shit, that's that's just a good thing. That's a good thing to agree with. Like, that's just great. And then he starts, again, he makes that connection with that guy over the saw or whatever it was. And he starts seeing a lot more to look forward to. And we even get Bill out of the house again, because he's been, not doing well after Hank left, because Bill is very codependent. And yeah, just not necessarily the most healthy of mentally healthy of individuals. And I say that as someone with mental health issues myself. I have some issues with that too, so I'm speaking a little bit from experience. Though I'm nowhere near as bad as him, thank God. Also, he finished Netflix? Like, what? You don't finish Netflix. Even if you watch everything on there, it's constantly updating with new things. It's like there's new shows and movies being put on Netflix, like, literally every week. Pretty much every day. You can't finish Netflix. But the wellness check joke was funny as hell. It really was. We get to see how a lot of these characters are doing now. Bobby is doing so goddamn well for himself. He has a successful restaurant venture at 21? That is so goddamn successful. And his little, like, discussion about, like, not going to college because he doesn't need to. And it's like it's a waste of money for considering he's already found his dream job and he genuinely loves it and he's good at it and successful. It's like, I love that for him. Like, that's awesome. And it also gives a little bit of commentary on, college and how colleges are not always a way to success. A lot of times you can go to college, you can even get degrees and still not have success because the job market sucks here in America. I don't know about Texas specifically, but you know, going to college and, wasting all that money is not always a good thing. But we even get to see like Connie and see that that she and Bobby are gonna still be on like really good terms and everything. I believe they did break up in the original series, but stayed good friends, and so it seems like they've been like separated for a while, but they're like reconnecting and all, which is great. That's awesome. I love to see that. And she's even promising to stop by his restaurant. We see he's making new connections, although he was very obviously disappointed by this one girl, like basically just wanting a one night stand instead of a relationship with him. And that's fair. That's entirely fair because he was clearly looking for a relationship. It's implying here that he's probably, single and has been for a while. And so it it kind of sucks, but I feel like he'll find someone. Um, I'm very curious to see like other kind of things they touch on. Like they've shown like more modern things that have been, introduced into American culture a lot, like boba, for example, or poke bowls. Both of which are fantastic, by the way. Like if I could have boba like all the time, I would. I just don't have anywhere to get it most of the time. I think the closest boba shop to me is in like a few cities away. I've been to it before and I've gotten it before and it's good, but it's like it's just something I just don't have the opportunity to get often, and it sucks because I love it. I would get boba like all the time if I could. And poke bowls I've only had a few times. The places I've been to for them allow you to like customize it as you will. Like you could choose what kind of rice do you want, what kind of vegetables do you want, what kind of protein do you want, and you could just completely make it your own. And even with like different sauces and extra spices and stuff, and it's great. It's a really cool idea. Um, it's just a lot of fun, and a lot of these things are just like cool additions. And yeah, going back to the Samoans thing, it's like a lot of things have like changed to be more respectful to people of other races and cultures and whatnot, and that's great. It's a genuinely good change that we've made in a lot of cases. Um, and I really do like that, as Republican as Hank tends to be, he acknowledged that was a good thing. Because like Hank is not racist. Like he's very much not. He's had some issues and he's not perfect in any manner, but like he respects people. And he doesn't care about like what race they might be. Hank is definitely one of the more respectful Republican type characters we've seen. Um, and definitely he's nothing like a lot of the actual Republicans in the real world. It's just, ugh. Yeah, he's luckily nothing like that. He is set in his ways in a lot of manners, and we do see it quite a bit of that, but he's he's not as bad by any means. Um, and this series has always even used his Republican leanings to make commentary. King of the Hill is a very big show in regards to its commentary. That's always been one of its biggest factors, and part of the reason why people love it so much. A lot of people, a lot of viewers, don't agree with Hank on everything. Don't agree with Peggy on everything. Don't agree with Dale. Definitely don't agree with Dale. No one agrees with Dale. But you know what I mean. It's like we don't need to necessarily agree with these characters to find them entertaining, but we can also see a lot of nuance in them. We can see a lot of depth to their characters and acknowledge that they have good aspects and bad aspects and still be entertained and even, enlightened by some of the knowledge that this series, touches on. I think that this was a fantastic start. I think this first episode was genuinely really great. Um, I had a lot of fun with it, and like I said, it was very nostalgic. I felt like I was just right back into it. It felt like no time had passed, really. Yet at the end, like I said, I was hit with that nostalgia bomb, and it kind of broke me a little bit. Like it wasn't like my biggest cry ever, but I did have a cry, and that just goes to show, like, in a current time such as 2025, a show like this is going to have a lot to say and is going to almost be needed. Like, get rid of the Family Guys and whatnot out there. Shows like that just rely on cringe and, you know, stupid bullshit, bigotry humor, and give us more shows like this. Hell, I would put this kind of in the same lane as another show I reacted to that I really loved, Carol and the End of the World. Like, I would kind of put these two shows in the same kind of lane as each other. They're both adult animation. They both touch on societal and even political to a degree. Though Carol and the End of the World was much more society than politics. But, it touched on those kind of topics and were actually thought-provoking shows that, you know, gave you a lot of depth and nuance and a lot to really chew on. And memorable characters, just really fun storylines. It's like, I think that this is definitely what we need more of. And so, this is very obviously going to be continued. I can't promise when, just like any of these, but we will get into this at some point. Maybe soon, maybe a while away, I don't know. I kind of want to get to it soon just because of the commentary it's going to make, but we'll see. I have to figure that out, especially since we've cut down on the schedule a little bit. It's going to depend on a few factors on when I can get to it. So, all of that being said, tell me in the comments below what you thought of King of the Hill Season 14, Episode 1. And thank you, as always, so much for tuning in. If you wanted to check out any of the other reactions and subsequent afterthoughts, please do. If this was the only one you were here for, I hope you enjoyed. And now we'll get into the final thoughts. And now for the final afterthoughts. This is going to cover everything. I might briefly cover like minor spoilers from all four of these. So if you haven't watched all four, or at least the ones you were interested in watching, please go back and do so. These are the final afterthoughts, and we will begin in 3, 2, 1, now. So this was a pretty wild set. We had some pretty diverse shows here, but all of them impressed me in one way or another. And that's always a good thing. That's always something I am so looking forward to anytime I tackle any shows on this channel, but especially when I do first impressions. Because first impressions a lot of the times are for me to like do for shows that I'm not sure if are going to be shows I want to react to. Whether just because I don't really know the show much, or if I'm not sure if it's going to really be for me at this point in time, or various other things like that. In the case of King of the Hill, it's like, is this going to recapture the same magic as it did? Kind of thing. And so going into this, I did not expect all four to impress me as much as they did, but they did. And I'm going to talk about why. So obviously, Kiff impressed me through its kind of fun humor, its expressionism, its creativity, and it seems like a really entertaining show. Plus has some pretty fun voice actors in it. Then you had StuGo, which was insanity. Um, it was crazy. It was weird. It threw you kind of into it, and a lot of like wild action and crazy situations that these characters are getting into from, being on the secret island of a supervillain. Some fun little character archetypes as well, and getting to see them use like their intellects in various ways is pretty fun. We had Jellystone, which was even more of insanity. It was basically Adventure Time levels of insanity, but for what is clearly, in my eyes, a more adult audience, surprisingly enough. It takes all these beloved Hanna-Barbera characters and just twists them. Just absolutely fucks with them. Because why not? It's fun. It's zany. It's entertaining. Jabberjaw is a trans icon now. I don't make the rules. She's a woman now. It's like she's a trans icon. She's beautiful. She's wonderful. I love her. And she had only a couple speaking roles, if even more than one, in the entire episode. I absolutely love Augie Doggy. She is fucking adorable, and I will protect her with my life. She is the cutest fucking thing in the world. And I love her song, and I hate the old woman for dying to her song. And Yogi just casually cannibalizing everyone. And the last one, I don't think I talked about this in the actual afterthoughts for the episode, but the last one, when he ate the last of them, it was like off screen, and it was so visceral and horrific sounding, and they were screaming. It's like, Jesus fuck. But we know he wasn't like chewing them or anything. He was like swallowing them whole. We know that. Yet somehow it was like the most horrific sounds possible, and it's like, Jesus, I'm not okay with this. And then King of the Hill had Keith David out of nowhere. But also, King of the Hill was an absolute return to form in the best kind of way, while also making things relevant for 2025. Just an absolute powerhouse set of episodes here. It's like, when I went into this, I maybe expected like half of these to be shows I would want to continue. I maybe expected, like, even though I wanted all four to be good enough to continue with. Male person. I maybe expected only 2 of them. And yet now all 4 impressed me, and I'm going to be continuing all 4. Obviously not at once. I'm gonna like come back to them at different times, and whenever I'm like in the mood for a specific tone, because these shows have very specific tones that I have to be in the mood for. Like, I don't think I'm gonna do Jellystone at the same time as I'm still doing Adventure Time, because it's like that's a little much. That's a little too much insanity. But yeah, you get the kind of gist with it. It's like, I want to kind of figure out exactly when I want to get to them, like what I'm in the mood for at any given time, when slots open up. And it's like, I have all this other stuff from the past I still have to get back to as well, so it's a matter of trying to figure it out. And at some points, I might randomize some things again. I might do some polls again. We already started with another poll for the Monday slot. So it's like there's stuff we can get to with that too. It's just more shows to be added to the wait list. But ones that I'm excited to add to the wait list. So can't wait to get back to these. King of the Hill will probably be the one I get back to the quickest. Just because, again, I want to get back to it while the references and stuff are still very modern. I don't think they're going to age out too quickly, but, it's like, I feel like this is meant to be watched in 2025 currently. So I'll probably try to get back to that sooner rather than later. The other ones, I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed all of these. This was a great time. I had a lot of fun with it. And I hope you did as well. I hope you enjoyed these as well for whichever ones you might have watched. And hopefully you have some more shows to check out too. So that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. Tell me what your favorite was out of the ones that you watched today. If you watched all four of them, let me know what your favorite was. I think my favorite was honestly King of the Hill. It's just like the nostalgia bomb hitting me and just the return to form for its humor and everything. It's like I like the others a lot, but that one just like that one felt like different, you know? That one felt like something a little more special to be coming back with this same level of quality and with the potential to maybe even be better. It's like I think we've got a real winner on our hands with that one. But yeah, I really enjoyed them all. I think StuGo might have been my least favorite, but I still really liked it. That all being said, like I said, tell me your thoughts below. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.